The Kansas City Chiefs faithful were rocked when whispers turned to roars. Star tight end Travis Kelce, the team's beating heart of hustle and heart, had drawn the ire of the organization with a rare disciplinary slap. Long revered for his fire-forged leadership and magnetic charisma, Kelce embodied the Chiefs' relentless spirit. So when the news hit, internal punishment for a breach of conduct, it ricocheted through the NFL like a deflected Hail Mary, sucking the air from Arrowhead and igniting a media maelstrom. Details trickled out like guarded secrets, leaving analysts scratching heads. What could unseat a cornerstone like Kelce? Fans stormed social feeds, torn between devotion and disbelief, pleading for truth amid the fog. The Chiefs, ever the bastion of buttoned-up professionalism, confirmed the measures with a curt nod, no more, no less, while the locker room simmered in stunned silence. For Kelce, the pulse of the franchise, this wasn't just fallout, it was a gut punch to his ironclad image. The fog lifted slowly, revealing a tinderbox moment, a practice scuffle, words flying hotter than a summer two-a-day, escalating into a verbal vortex that snared players and coaches alike. No fists flew, but the raw edge of championship pressure sliced deep, blurring the line between grit and grenade. In a culture sculpted by Andy Reid's ironclad ethos of respect and restraint, the Chiefs didn't flinch, they acted. Kelce, no stranger to the spotlight's glare, owned it without a whimper, his disappointment etched in quiet resolve. For a warrior wired for wins, this wasn't mere embarrassment, it was a stark mirror to the razor's edge of passion in pro ball. Every alpha stumbles. Kelce's just went primetime, underscoring that even icons kneel to the code. Locker room vibes cratered then clawed back. Teammates reeled. Kelce, the hype man who hoists the squad on his shoulders, sidelined by his own spark? Yet cooler heads prevailed, deeming it a tough love tonic for the greater good. Mahomes, the unflappable QB sage, slid in with a sidebar pep talk, solidarity over sideshows. Reid, the philosopher king of pigskin, doubled down on his gospel. Stars shine brightest under the same sun as rookies. This wasn't a demotion, it was a firewall for the family's fabric. Wide-eyed youngsters clocked it all, absorbing the axiom. Fire fuels, but fuses blow. Kelce, ever the exemplar, leaned in, his hush-hush huddles with the crew a masterclass in mea culpa, turning trial into teachable. The den stayed tight, but the air hummed with a new normal. Forward, fortified. The outside world, a circus on steroids. Pundits packed panels, slicing the saga from every seam, team DNA to alpha egos, while Twitter tribunals raged, split between free TK, diehards and rules for the realists. Echoes of NFL no-goes past rippled through, but the Chiefs' stonewall earned nods. No leaks, no circus. Outlets lionized it as Exhibit A in accountability artistry. A dynasty's dirty laundry aired just enough to prove the spin cycle works. For the faithful, though, it stung soul deep, a loyalty litmus test for the guy who'd bled red since day one. In the Instagram era of endless eyes, it crystallized the clash. Fervor versus filter, heroes under the microscope. Kelce's counter-move, pure class, unscripted and unfiltered. Insiders spilled. He fronted the fault line, gutted by the gap between intent and impact, then rallied the ranks with raw remorse. The guy who wears his soul on his sleeve didn't dodge. He dissected, vowing to vault higher. Chums in the chain of command painted him pensive yet pumped, a phoenix mid-flame, eyes locked on the horizon. For a gridiron gladiator, this wasn't kryptonite. It was kindling, a nudge to recalibrate the compass he co-calibrated. Humility's his halo, after all. Why the world roots for the underdog in him, even at the apex. Legacy. It's forged in the forge of fumbles, and Kelce's hammer swung true, grace amid the grind. Reid's reins on the reins. Textbook Travis, firm but fatherly, a scalpel over sledgehammer. His creed, discipline laced with mercy, aims to mend, not maim. Huddles with Kelce. Straight talk, sans spectacle, lessons laced with latitude. Reid's genius isn't schemes, it's souls, nurturing nights through the nighted nights. No shade thrown public, just private pivots toward polish. By benching the bench warmer-in-chief, he etched the ethic, equity's the equalizer. The ripple, a ripple of respect, turning tumult into tutorial. Reid's run reaffirms why he's royalty. He builds beasts with brains and backbone. Post-punishment pivot, laser-locked on the lab, drills dialed up, but dialed down in decibels, a zen zone of zeal. Kelce, benched but beaming, bantered from the bleachers, Big bro vibes boosting the brigade. Mahomes manned the mics, massaging any Morse code of malaise. Coaches converted crisis to catalyst, hammering home the hymn, one heartbeat, one horizon. The squad's spine stiffened. Scouts spotted the sheen in scrimmages, poise on steroids. In the NFL's non-stop noir, the Chiefs cashed composure like currency, flipping flak into fuel. Excuses. Excellence. Every snap. League luminaries lit up the lines. Kudos cascaded for the Chiefs' cool calculus. Star treatment? Same as the scrum. Ex-grindstone grinders nodded knowingly. Heat of the huddle haze hits hard, but humility heals. Parallels popped like popcorn. Own goal odes to growth spurts. Foes. They filed notes. KC's keel stays even when waves wallop. The circuit saluted the subtext. Pros are people-powered. Slips sharpened swords. Kelce's cachet. Untarnished, amplified by his arc. Antagonists to acolytes overnight. The franchise. A fable in fortitude. Champs don't dodge dirt. They dig through it, diamond-handed. Weeks waned, and Kelce's comeback? A clinic in comebackery. Sidelines to stat sheets. Discipline distilled into dominance. Patience his new playbook. Peers pegged it profound. The poise of a pro phoenix. Gridiron glow-ups gleamed. Targets torched, but temperament tempered. No vendetta verve. Just virtuoso validation of vows. Doubters. Converted to chorus, crooning his crusade. Beyond the blaze, it bloomed bigger, a blueprint for bounce back, from frat boy firebrand to fortified foreman. The slap that stunned, now a scar of strength, for Kelce and kin. In the endgame echo, Kelce's chronicle crowns accountability as the crown jewel of clout. The sanction that scorched, it seared his stature higher, humility's heatwave. The Chiefs' call? A clarion of class, wedding whip to warmth. Adoration. Amplified, as fans feast on the feast or famine fighter who fasted from fault to feast anew. What could have cracked the core? Cemented it, unity's ultimate upgrade. Kelce's lore? Layered richer, not just yards and yips, but yield to the yoke, rebound with reverence. In the arena's unforgiving arc light, he lit the way. Greatness grins at the gauntlet, grows in the grit. Redemption. Earned. Etched. Eternal.